All right, guys, welcome and welcome back. What the hell? Hold on, I got some echoes going on. Let's try that again. I don't know where the hell that all came from.
Each cake gets lost in the echo.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. One of my streams, the sound was still on. Anyways, I will clip all that shit out. Let's try that again. Welcome back, guys, to the Spin Zone podcast with me, Cake Eater, and we also got Chad and Vile. How are you guys doing today?
Today's pretty good. Today's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice day out today. It's almost 40 degrees. I'm pretty okay.
Absolutely. It's like a big summer heat wave over here in the Minnesotas. 40 degrees compared to like what was it a couple weeks ago where it was in like the negative 20s or some shit. It's
Yeah,
been
yeah, you
Oh
ain't
my
lying, brother.
God,
yeah,
yes. Yes.
so completely big heat wave going on. So today we're just going to shoot the shit about Beyblades, the game itself. This past weekend we had a really big turnout for a tournament that my man Vile actually put on with some amazing prizing, and we got some big stuff coming at least to the Minnesota. And probably one of the biggest things that I personally kind of want to talk about. If you guys heard, there's a big tournament going on in April over in Michigan that's giving away a 2007 Honda Civic. It's great.
Woo!
Yeah, the cap is 200 people. And as of right, last time I checked, it was already at 148 people. That is crazy. Like,
Well, you got to figure if they're charging $40 a head and they get 200 people, which it sounds like they will if they're already three-fourths full and we're still 2 months out, right?
right.
Um, I'm sure they'll fill that up. If you just do some quick basic math on it, I mean, they're taking in a lot of money in entry fees. Like 40 times 200, bro. Like that's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And so $40 a head, which it is a lot for entry fee. That is a shit
Mm.
ton just for entry fee. But the grand prize is a brand, or not really a brand new car. It's a brand new car to you. But let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
It was like a 2007 Honda Civic with 171,000 miles on it. So you can win a brand
That's
new car.
pretty good.
I mean, it's decent. It has a little bit of love already to it, but
Yeah. I
like
mean,
a
like, listen, it's a dope event. Like, listen, I think first off, you got to remember. So I just did the math. If they get 200 people, they're taking in $8,000, right? Now, some of that's going to
Hmm.
have to go to the venue fee because I think they're at like a local putt course, like a
yeah,
mini golf type of place.
yeah,
Um, so they're gonna have to pay something out to the venue, but even if the venue fee was like 2 G's or something, and I couldn't imagine it being any higher than that, that's still $6,000 they have left over for prizing. Like
Hmm.
I think it's fair. I think everything is like fair and balanced, but I don't think it's a crazy prize when you consider how much money they're in taking.
yeah, true. And the pricing just alone in this event is is crazy just for a tournament. So first
Well, if I
place,
recall correctly, it's the
Absolutely.
it's the Honda Civic at first place, right?
yep,
And then Valkyrie Bolt for
Hmm.
second. And then they have the purple metal coat Wyvern at third.
hmm
And then you also mentioned something about a regular, like non-metal coat Japanese Wyvern being some type of door prize or something. Yeah.
yeah, and then the fourth place is also a Orochi cluster from the Korokora comic exclusive,
Holy moly.
and then
Yeah, and I'm sure they're gonna
You
I'm sure they're
know,
gonna have some giveaways and door prizes and shit like that too. It's
yep,
probably gonna be pretty cool. But again, I think it's very balanced. I think, yeah, the first prize is obviously kind of neat and different, but I do think they're intaking enough money where it kind of makes sense.
yeah, just like someone set up in chat, Los AG, Civics are reliable as long it hasn't been sat in a lot for ages with old fuel slash oil, which is very true. Like
So, but
any car
my
that
my
go ahead, Val.
go ahead, go ahead. No,
Yeah,
you're good. You go.
yeah, just any car that you truly take care of, you can dig that thing into the dirt until it's dead. And just a Honda itself is just a really reliable car in itself. So, yeah, it does have 171,000 miles on it, which it does have a lot of love to it, but if you put some love back into it, you can easily get 300 plus thousand miles out of it. So,
Listen, so I
You
do agree
know,
with that.
Cake. All I was gonna say is it's funny that you mentioned about putting love into something because I think our listeners need to be putting some love into today's sponsor, Bays and Bricks.
Oh my God.
oh my God.
Oh, you better believe I will find a way to worm that into every beginning.
All right, Chad, let's get it out
Yeah,
of the way.
yeah,
Go on.
go ahead, my man.
All right, viewers, be sure to visit Bays and Bricks today and use code SPINZONE to save 7% off your order. That's SPINZONE at
At
Bays
chadfroze.com.
and Bricks for sound.
oh, you froze halfway through.
You did. That was
Oh, I
funny.
did? No.
Oh
Yeah, I
I'll
even
man.
had
redo it.
enough
I
time.
don't care.
I even had enough time to say at chadfroze.com.
All I heard was the com. All right, let's try this again. All right. Be sure to visit Bays and Bricks today and use code SPINZONE to save 7% off your order. That's SPINZONE at Bays and Bricks for 7% off your order. This coupon is usable twice per account.
There we go.
There we
So,
go.
yeah, so
Now,
yeah, so listen to what Chad had to say. Go to brazenbricks.com. Um, show some love back to the podcast because we are actually doing a little giveaway, which we'll get back into this whole Michigan giveaway. But a little bit later this
Oh, yeah.
episode, we will be giving you guys the details for the free spin stand giveaway. Um, but yeah, Bays and
Ooh.
Bricks, appreciate all the love and the support that you guys been doing for us here at the Spin Zone, sponsoring our podcast, sponsoring events, and even giving away something extra for the giveaway. Oh, we got a Martine.
Oh, my
a
goodness. Is
wild
that a
Martine has appeared.
Martine in the.
Anyway, yeah. So this
Hello?
hey, we're actually we're live right now, Martine. Welcome in.
Hey, everyone give a round of applause for Martine. We missed you, buddy. Come on, let's get a round of applause for this man right here.
Martine joining us from work right now.
That's what's up. Showing that love. But yeah, so that tournament, yeah.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to say about the car is
Oh yeah,
like
go ahead.
I do think 171,000, a fair amount of miles, but it looks like one of the sponsors, if you look at their poster, is like an auto shop. So my guess is they've had that's probably where the sponsorship came from. They probably got the car, brought it in there, and the sponsorship was they fixed it up. You know what I'm saying, to make sure it runs good and all that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so that event is, like I said, $40, and the cap is 200. And so at the time of this recording, there are 50 more spots. And then again, there is a big convention that is going on during that same weekend. So even if you fly out of state, you can make a whole weekend out of it.
What kind of convention is it, Cake?
It is called Astro Comic Con. It has all like actors and it has a big ton of wrestlers and a lot of media shit going on with it. I went there last year before I moved out to Minnesota because I am originally from Michigan, and I met like a handful of wrestlers. Met some my buddies actually met Terrifier. I think that is the clown looking thing. Um,
Yeah, the
and then
Terrifier.
yeah, the Terrifier, and then also a couple of my buddies also met some of the cast from My Name Is Earl. So they got a whole bunch of different kind of people there. It's amazing. Um, so this event is happening. The tournament is on a Sunday, and that Comic Con is on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you could definitely kill two birds in one big ass weekend. So I definitely would check it out if I can. I might, if possible, but I don't know. We'll see. $40 for entry. The doors do open at 10 o'clock, 1 hour free play, and then the event will start around 11 a.m. So it's going to be a long, long day. This tournament is 6 rounds of Swiss, first to 5, top 16, move into a single elimination. Um, and then event prizing will kind of keep going as the threshold keeps getting bigger, which is absolutely crazy.
I think it's going to be cool.
Absolutely.
I think people will like it. Now, this event isn't being run through the WBO, is it, Cake?
To my knowledge, no, but you can find it on the amazing site that everyone loves and is dear to their heart is Challenge. So I
Oh
will.
yeah, I love Challenge. That's
Oh man,
very true, guys.
I mean,
Everyone
Challenge.
loves
For
Challenge.
Yeah,
those
Martine loves it.
yeah,
Chad loves it.
for those
Challenge
who
is
don't
so
know,
great.
the reason they named it Challenge is because it challenges your flippin' sanity
Oh my
trying
god.
to get anything done on there.
Yeah, it's challenging to use.
Oh, very
Yeah, no, I
true.
mean,
Uh,
yeah, as far as I know, I've heard rumblings that they're trying to get it up on WBO, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Realistically, I don't think it needs to if they already have 148 out of 200 people signed up and we're still 2 months out. I think they'll be just fine.
that is
Yeah,
very true. That is
yeah,
very true.
yeah. They should not have any sort
And
of
then
problem. They've been getting promotions left and right, everywhere. So honestly, I give it to like towards the end of the month that it will already be at cap.
Hmm.
But that's just my
where's
thinking
this
behind.
at?
This is up in Ypsilanti, Michigan. It's that prizing of the Honda Civic.
That's
Ypsilanti,
crazy.
Michigan. That is definitely a city name
How long
I've
we been
never
live
heard
for?
before.
Oh,
Well, Cake likes to say 3 o'clock, and then he likes to go on early. Is how that goes.
nah.
Yeah.
So we almost wrapping it up or what?
Oh no.
No, we went live like
Okay, good.
10 minutes early.
Yeah,
We got plenty of time.
yeah, we got plenty of time. So someone.
Literally, all you've
Like
missed
we're
is
already talking
us
about the
messing.
event.
Not, yeah, well, we're
Oh,
talking about a Michigan event because that's what we started off with.
yeah.
But literally, all you've missed is the sponsor, us talking about that Michigan thing, and Cake messing up the intro.
Nice.
That's because
Hey,
Cake was drunk.
it happens.
That's fair.
So someone asked, when is Amazon, Target, and Wally posting Shark Scale? Same as Emperor Set. I need them as of 2 weeks ago. I mean, I know Amazon had the Shark Scale, but those are all sold out. They're sold out of basically all the good ones. I haven't looked recently on what they had still, but
I look pretty
It's
much
not
every day.
great.
It's been pretty abysmal.
I would wait.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to say this as someone who has been getting Beyblades for the longest time now. Don't rely on Amazon. Amazon is a crapshoot in the first place, especially when it comes to new stuff. The best place to get your Beyblade stuff, besides our sponsor Base and Bricks, is like any site that deals with strictly just Beyblades. You may have to spend a little bit more, but you're gonna have a better chance of getting what you're looking for and at a reasonable time. I mean, I know Mr. Danny here, Mr. Vile, he what's the site you usually go to for your Beyblades when it comes to purchasing them? I can't remember the name of it.
Like what? If like Hasbro shit, bro, I just order off Amazon. Like, um, like my sites for importing are gonna have nothing to do with people getting Hasbro releases at MSRP. You know what I'm saying? Um,
That's what I'm saying is like your best bet is to probably buy the Beyblades from overseas at this point.
I don't know about that. I think they're just fine. If they just have to chill. Like, if you want to get Shark Scale specifically off Amazon right now, you're gonna have to be checking it several times a day, every day. Otherwise, you're just
Yeah,
gonna have to chill until Walmart and Target start getting them in. But
I
Amazon
would just
has,
wait.
yeah, Amazon has tended to get things a month or two before Target, Walmart, GameStop. So you probably just have to chill, or you have to be willing to check Amazon several times a day. Those are your options right now. Chad, shark scale is pretty expensive overseas still. I wouldn't, if people just want the shark scale, I can't recommend them spending 45, $50 on the whole set. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah.
There are websites where you can buy the individual bays, and in fact, I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up. There's a site you can go to. It's not super up to date with Beyblade parts, but you can go there and buy just the individual parts themselves. I think
Oh,
last
there's
time
a
I looked on there, I was looking at level, and they had level at like $10.
Oh my
there's a bunch of
god.
sites that have that stuff. I think Spin City has some individual parts. I know
That's the one.
Ripcord Arena does. Prices will vary on those sites. I don't want to comment too much on it because I have some opinions on that stuff, but I'm going to keep it to myself.
Yeah, that's fair.
But right now on Amazon, yeah, it's kind of rough. It's like the Rhino Reapers there, the Phoenix Rudder, the Phoenix Feather, the Yellow Shelter Drake, the Ridge Triceratops, and the Samurai Caliber Obsidian Shell 2-pack. Those are all in stock. But like Shark Scale isn't, Fang Leon isn't, Stun Medusa isn't, Cerberus isn't. So all the kind of hot ones, you know?
Yeah. I know I think it was earlier yesterday morning and like early. I think like 7 a.m. CST. Like the Cerberus was, I think they just had a couple of them, and then by the time that I was able to get into it, they were already gone. Because someone in one of our Discord chats said, "Hey, Cerberus um, is now available on Amazon," but when I clicked on it, it was already unavailable, which is
Oh my
wild. But
gosh.
Cerberus is like
That's,
not even that good.
Well, it's just for wheel.
I don't know Martine's car seat. I mean, it may have some uses.
Yeah, nobody thinks Cerberus is great, but a lot of players don't have wheel, so that's why they want Cerberus.
That is the only reason they're getting Cerberus is because Wheel is like considered one of the two best assist blades in Beyblade for
Or-
the CX line, at least.
yeah, or if
I
you
feel
want
like
wall
you're
ball
gonna
for
run a
some reason.
CX blade, though.
Wall ball's
gonna run
all
a
right.
CX
People
blade.
are still trying to get it to be like good, but
I mean,
it's
I
it's
don't
not
mind.
bad.
Yeah, I don't mind wall ball.
It's not Gearball.
Oh my
Wall
god.
ball is dookie.
I don't know, Martine. See, I personally don't mind wall ball.
My seat disagrees.
We can tell it's taking up the screen.
Jesus.
Well, I'm driving. I can't.
Nah, we're just teasing you, Martine. We're just
Yeah.
teasing you. You
Uh,
focus
so-
on your driving.
So someone said up in chat that he was able to snag the Cerberus the first day and got it delivered this past Friday. Shark and Medusa were never up, and Leon but canceled my
Yeah.
pre-order because all the reviews said it was mid.
It is mid.
I mean, Shark and Medusa makes sense
Yeah,
because
that sounds about right.
yeah, Shark is just way too good, especially for now. It's gonna be Hasbro. It's gonna be everywhere.
It's all
Which is
right.
good.
Yeah, Shark is good. But Medusa, what are you guys' thoughts on Medusa? And because I think there's only a couple people, at least in the Minnesota area, that have Medusa.
Well, me personally, I think we could do a whole topic on Medusa because I think it belongs in a category called overrated Beyblades.
Ooh.
Oh my god. To be fair, in order for it to be overrated, people would have to have thought it was good, and I don't think anyone ever thought Medusa was going to be good.
Oh no, everyone was like,
How much does Medusa
when
weigh?
it first got revealed, at least people were hyping it up.
Less than Shinobi.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
0.5 or 0.6 grams less than Shinobi. I think Wacko weighed it at the last free play.
That's crazy. And
I
just
feel like
and just
it's
a
just another
rem-
Port Rhino, isn't it?
I think it's a Rhino / Shinobi reprint, but the reason people were hoping it would be good is because the only problem with Rhino and Shinobi is they just don't weigh a lot. At their size, if they weighed like a decent amount, like close to any of like the more modern Beyblades, those things would be probably top tier because of the fact that all that mass in such a little Beyblade, that thing would be like Impact Drake. It would just be slamming Beyblades out of the arena, or Nightmail even.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I think Nightmail's a better comparison.
The art and bay itself of Medusa is actually really good. I love the art of it. But just a reminder, Stun Medusa comes on 960 gear ball, which is all of it's awful.
Normal.
I mean,
Yeah. That's like normal.
960 is good.
960 is awful.
960 is good, but
I was about to say.
no,
I was about to say I'll fight you on that one.
No, that's fair. I'd fight myself on that. But yeah, gear ball, awful, absolutely garbage. And if it's you guys are saying what Medusa is, like a cheaper Shinobi reprint, yeah, get that out of here. But so the only good thing is a white and yellow 960, which
Perfect for people who want to use 960 on their wizard rods.
I mean, that's fair. All wall bits are to be prone to be bursted. Imagine putting on Clock Mirage. Wall ball on Clock Mirage.
Interesting.
That
Whose
would be.
suggestion is that?
I mean, it's
It is. It. I don't know. HD. I don't even. I'm not even gonna try it because
it's a bunch of letters.
It
a
is
lot of H's.
it
We're
is a
gonna
bunch
call
of-
you Hman.
HD.
HD.
Yeah, HD is probably the best bet that I can do for you, my man, or whatever, female, whatever. But yeah,
Our blader.
our fellow blader. Yes, I like that.
There you go. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, anyone who knows me in the Minnesota scene knows that I have a completely modded clock, so I'm more than willing to see like how a wall ball would do on that, but I feel wall ball on a regular Clock Mirage is just asking to just watch your Beyblade explode like it ran over a landmine.
I mean, Wayward wants to go to Michigan with me. I mean, let's go. Let's make a full weekend out of it. Let's go to.
Hey, Wayward in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. The one, the only, Waward.
I bet Wayward on his way to work right now.
Yeah, our last week's guest, Wayward Beyblades.
$40 is crazy though.
What?
$40 for entry?
For the car, yeah.
Yeah, but but you're also making a big weekend out of it. Oh, there goes the seat again.
Yeah, Martin hates the idea of paying $40 entry so much that his phone fell over.
It basically face palmed itself. I meant that
it did the classic bruh.
I mean, it is for a car, I guess.
Yeah, so basically
it's for a car.
$40 for a new car for yourself, which is absolutely crazy to think about. And there's tons of giveaways.
Just by being good at Beyblades, of all things, too.
Yeah, and free pizza on top of that, so you're at least getting fed.
And you get
That's easy.
I mean, I don't know if it's
by
like
going to the tournament.
I don't know if it's Little Caesars or honestly, it probably is Little Caesars. Get $5 hot and ready, so that's probably honestly going to be the pizzas.
For 200 people.
Probably two. That's probably why it's going to be. That's probably why it's going to be Little Caesars, because you can get a lot of pizzas for 200 people for not that much with Little Caesars.
Look, if it was $20 entry and you get a whole Little Caesars pizza, I would pay $40 for it.
Damn. I mean, they also got other giveaways, so they're giving away 10 random boosters of BX48 Volume 9. I don't know which one that is.
That's the Metal Coat random booster.
Okay.
That's the Metal Coat one.
Bite Croc from the Koro Koro. Nightmail Metal Coat which is the blue one.
The attention.
My understanding is they did get some kind of sponsorship from Beyblade Kingdom. I think they got about $200 in sponsorship for prizes from Beyblade Kingdom, which is pretty cool.
Which is
Because I think they're
wild.
the first event that I've heard of, at least, to get sponsored by Beyblade Kingdom.
I haven't heard anything
fair.
anything good or anything even
Ooh.
bad about Beyblade Kingdom, so I don't know how it is. So if you guys are up and listening anywhere, and if you guys have bought from Beyblade Kingdom, let me know if they are reliable or not. Put them down up in the comments section for sure. They are giving also away 10 display stands for bays, 5 string launcher links for solo plays, 3 gift cards to a 3D printing, $170 and also a $50, a BX00 Shark Edge that comes on 560 gear flat, launcher grip B4 limited, Phoenix Flare, Dronzer, and then 2 Beyblade water bottles, and then more to come. So it's
There you
definitely
go.
going to be prizing left and right and center and everything. So even if you get like one of the random giveaways, even the $40 would definitely be worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think, Cake, I think for most people, I don't think $40 is a crazy, based on the pricing, I can't say $40 is like a crazy ask, right? Like, I think it's fair. What
That's
I
very
think
fair.
what I think people traveling from out of town have to consider is how much the trip is going to cost.
Mm,
For people within 2-3 hours of the event, I think going to this event, if they're even sort of good at Beyblade and even sort of have a chance of winning, is kind of a no-brainer. Um, for people from Minnesota or from the Dakotas or Iowa, Nebraska, I think we have to consider more closely, like, what are actually our chances of potentially winning or at least getting in like top 4 prizing versus like how much is it going to cost us to get there and all that. Now,
Right.
some people are happy enough, right, to go for the experience, and that's totally fine if that's your purview. But a lot of people want to look at what could I potentially win if I do well, and how much do I have to spend to potentially win that? And that is an important metric for a lot of people.
Right. But then this is also just another hobby, like playing cards, or if you're out there collecting like Funko Pops or some shit, and you go to conventions or any other kind of pulp culture thing. So you go to these events just in hope that you find like certain things or just the experience in general. So yeah, for us, we would have to either fly out to like probably Detroit area, which is going to be a couple $100 right there, plus a couple $100 for like a hotel for a couple nights, and then fly back. I don't know if that couple $100 would be round trip or not, but let's just say,
It's
probably
probably Cake as someone who flies a lot. It's probably a $200 round trip
yeah,
on the ticket. Detroit's pretty similar to flying into O'Hare and in Chicago, so it'd probably be about 200 round trip. Um, a hotel, depending on where you're trying to stay. I mean, hotels can vary a lot, right? You can get a hotel for $60 if you're okay being next door to a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Um, but if you want a nicer one, that's probably going to be over 100 a night, right? It just
put
depends.
your hand down.
I mean, and then let's just say you're flying in with 4 of your buddies. So me, Chad, Vile, and Martine are flying out to Detroit to this event. It could be like $50 a person per night or something. Just kind of rounded
I
up
mean,
per.
Hmm.
yeah, the cheapest way, the absolute cheapest way to do this. Um, And so, like, I appreciate what you said earlier. Like, some people do go for the experience, right?
Mhm.
Um, but for every person who goes to a Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh regional that they know they're probably not going to win for the experience, there's 5 to 10 people who never go anywhere else other than their locals. You know what I'm saying? Um, so
Hmm.
those people are not the most common, right? I think
Um,
if you want to do it the cheapest, you get 3 buddies, you put 4 people in a car, you split gas, and you split a hotel room. That's gonna
yeah,
be the cheapest way to do it.
yeah, and I calculated at least from my city to Ypsilanti, it would be about a I think it was like a 10-hour drive. So with stopping and everything, it would be between like 11 and 12-hour drive, and that's just with stopping for food and filling up the gas probably a couple times because it depends on what car you take. There's just a lot of variables, but so
Hmm.
Well, depending
that's
on how. So actually, Cake, you brought up a point that I didn't even think of. If you can get four people in an SUV that gets halfway decent gas mileage, let's say somewhere between 25 and 30 average,
Mhm.
um, you could do it pretty cheap because you wouldn't even necessarily have to. If all four people are licensed drivers and the owner of the vehicle has decent insurance, like you don't even necessarily have to get a hotel room. You just have each person drive like 3 hours of the 12, let's say, and then you all play, and then you just drive home, and each person takes a 3 hour shift driving again, and the other people sleep. You wouldn't even necessarily have to get a hotel room if you really didn't want to and you were traveling with a group.
right,
That's fair.
which is true, but again, I don't know how long this event's going to go on for. If it starts at 11 and 200 people are capped out, who knows on how many stands they're going to have, and just a lot of other variables behind that tournament itself. So we don't know any of that information just as of yet. It's hopefully we can get some answers eventually, but I don't know. I think it would be a great time.
I mean,
Probably.
I think it'd be a great time too. I think what people need to ask themselves before making this trip is, am I going to have fun with my friends or am I going to try to win? And if you're the type of
Yeah.
person who's not going to have fun unless you do well, you need to be you need to look at yourself and your own skill very closely and be like, do I have a realistic shot at beating people from there's going to be players there from Team Spin Zone US, Team Spin Zone Canada. If you don't think you can beat those players and you're not the type of happy-go-lucky person that can just play for fun, maybe you shouldn't go. You know what I'm saying? There is an argument to be made that you don't want to make a big trip expecting you're going to do well if realistically you probably won't, and then you're soured on Beyblade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
which
people
is
need to understand their own personalities and their own limitations.
yeah, and especially with a cap
Very
of
true. Very true.
200, your odds of making top is not good. But if you're also
I mean,
going again for the experience, if you're going for the fun, if you're going to hang out with your friends and everything with your car or maybe even a couple car loads and just going for the funs of it, do it.
yeah, I totally agree with that. Um, the hard part is you could be the best blader in Minnesota. Okay, I think if we look purely at the WBO rankings, Wayward was the best blader in Minnesota this past year by a pretty wide margin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
No, I'm not arguing that WBO rankings are the only thing that matters. I'm just saying if we use the most objective metric that I am aware of right now, it's the WBO rankings. Wayward could very easily go to a 200-person tournament, and all it takes is a fluke loss, and he could be out of top cut. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
easily.
Mhm.
and so that's the other thing is just because you are a great blader doesn't mean at a tournament with 200 people, probably 7 rounds. Like I've seen great players here in Minnesota lose to 8-year-olds. It Beyblade is about skill to an extent, but there also is luck involved.
Yeah, like I know me during your last team tournament. My team got beat out by little kids. We lost to them and we got our asses beat by them. But it
Yeah,
happens.
I know what you're talking about. We beat the boys in Top Cut of
Mhm.
the previous team tournament, but we had lost to them in Swiss, and we lost pretty handedly too. You
Right.
know,
Mhm.
um, and we went on to win that event. But my point is that loss could have been the one that cut us out of Top Cut, especially if 200 people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, so
So
it will be 6 rounds. So that's I'm guessing 200 cap, 6 rounds. They're going to
Interesting.
have probably 10 or so stadiums or more.
Six
that's
rounds.
so I guess if they're not going through WBO, they can do that. I would assume that WBO for 200 players would be 7 rounds. Um, but if they're not using WBO, then they don't have to adhere to that necessarily. it's just
Pretty
it's
much.
interesting because at 200 players, only 6 rounds, you'd almost have to go 6-0 and maybe some 5-1s get in, but that's crazy.
Yeah, you got to go probably undefeated just to even think about making the top 16, just to move on to the single elimination.
I think some 5-1s would make it, but I mean, like,
Mm,
you
Nuh-uh.
know,
There's no way.
Mm,
I don't think so.
There's no
you know,
way.
I wish we had Acuna as our
The only
guest
w-
today because Acuna can do this math like in his head. He's crazy at figuring this stuff out. He can like take a number of players, a number of rounds, and tell me in like 2 minutes how long the event should take. He's really crazy at math. I am not.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't.
mhm.
Yeah, I don't think he's in chat either. He hasn't said anything. But yeah, either way,
I haven't seen anything.
like, so let's just say 5-1. You're probably at least towards the very bottom of that top 16.
yeah, I mean,
And that's
I
even
think
if you like maximize the amount of points you get each round too. Like
Oh, absolutely.
every round you win is like a 5-0 lead.
yeah, not every 5-1 player is going to make Top Cut. I mean, that's
No.
guaranteed. So I would say
Absolutely.
like if you
Yeah,
want to
no.
go and you want to make a weekend of it with your buddies, or you just want to go with some friends and have fun, like that's totally fine. However, going to an event of this size with the idea you're gonna win and take home a car, that's the wrong attitude because you only have a 1 in 200 chance of doing that. You know?
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
a 0.5% that you're actually gonna win, which is
It's gonna be even less than that because it's again, Beyblade has chance.
yeah, a lot of
Beyblade has a little bit of luck tied to it as well, so it's
yeah, a
less
lot of
than
So
0.5.
you're saying if I don't just run Shark Scale, Hover, Wyvern, and Wizard Rod, I won't just win?
Is this to 4 or
You
5?
should have been there
It-
on Saturday.
it is the best to 5.
Is it full points own KO?
I believe it said yes.
Because like there is strategy to this. A lot of people don't understand like own KO being on or off
Yep, it
should
is
really yeah, like if you are getting full points
on?
for own
on.
KO,
Yeah, own KOs are
It's
Uh-huh.
on?
well no, so own KO
Mhm.
on
Nah.
means only 1 point.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
then it's off.
Yeah, so if own KO is off, then that's full points.
Yeah, full
All
points.
these things, this is something, and this is kind of related to this event, but it's really like a good point in and of itself. The amount of points you play to and whether own KO is on or off should affect what you're running. People don't think about that. Wizard Rod is objectively better playing to 4 points than playing to 5. Wizard Rod is also objectively better when own KO, when you get full points for own KO versus just 1 point, because Wizard Rod doesn't really KO itself. Like, Hover Wyvern is a much riskier pick in full points for self KO than in 1 point for self KO because the popular build on Kick, it will KO itself a fair amount. Like, these are things people should be thinking about. I think a lot of people don't consider it. I think they just bring whatever bays people say are meta, or in some cases, bays they personally like. But either way, it does make a difference what point value you're playing to and whether own KO is on or off. Those are very important rules to
That's fair.
consider if you
Yeah.
want to optimize your deck.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that they would be off as well during the top 16 part, which I'm trying to read
Yeah,
into.
if own KO is if it's full points during Swiss, it's 100% going to be full points during Top Cut.
Mhm.
Right.
I'd put a lot of money on that.
I mean, I would too, but you also never know. You don't know what you don't know, but I do agree with
I
you,
mean,
Lyle, at the end of the day.
that's fair. I have seen it switch between first stage and final, but it only ever switches from all of my empirical evidence. It only ever switches from 1 point in first stage to full points in Top Cut.
Right.
Because that's
Yeah.
what I do for team events, for instance, right? For ranked, I always believe in full points for own KO all the time because it's ranked. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you did this
in
past
team
weekend.
events, I'll do 1 point during first stage, but in final stage, I want people to prove it. You know, which is the same reason when we get to like semis, it's best of 3 because I want people to prove it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, it's not
I
saying
like
anything
to
about
prove it.
It's not saying anything about what the top 16 move on. It will be single elimination. So once you make top 16, it goes into single elimination. So you make top 16, you got one round, and then you might be done. And then there goes.
And that's
Ugh.
and that's a tough thing because I'm pretty sure I've seen at least two of the three people who are on screen right with me right now be the Swiss King in an event and then get knocked out in the first round of Top Cut.
Mm-hmm.
So, just because you do well in Swiss, it doesn't guarantee anything. Once you get to Top Cut, those are all going to be very strong players, especially out of a field of 200 people,
Right. Hey, so Vile, I got a question for you from someone lost up in chat on
Yeah, what's up?
or also you guys can also pitch in, but I know this is kind of leading more towards a Vile kind of question. But on own KOs versus full punishment, do you believe that own KOs reduced penalty is actually detrimental to the positive competitive development of a scene?
Oh, that's a fair question. So I do think that only giving 1 point for self KOs, I think that's bad for competitive development. And the reason is because I think it creates either lazy launchers or or players who launch like overly risky, which I don't think is what you want to do. If you want to be competitive, you want to be consistent on your launches. The launch is the one thing you
Yeah.
can control, right? Once the bays are in the arena banging around, it's not like the anime where and I control my bay. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. The one thing I can always control is my own launch. And if I'm careless or reckless with my launch, that should be penalized the way the default game rules state that it should. That forces me to become better at launching.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's what you want for a very competitive scene. If everyone in our scene launched like T-Dog or Wayward or Wacko did, we'd have a much more competitive, like highly skilled scene.
Look, let me ask you this. Right? Do you think you're gonna pass an exam without studying?
Some people
I
do.
get it. Yeah, that's also
So
true.
so Martine's got a good point. I mean, that's a very good point. The other thing I'll say is own KO. People use the 1 point own KO rule because they feel like it makes players who do launch poorly and who do make mistakes feel better. But what they don't usually consider is that it makes the player on the other end of the arena feel worse. Because they're like, I
Yeah,
did everything
that's
right.
agreeable.
My opponent screwed up, got forgiven for it, and then they happened to extreme me on the next launch. Um, there have been several players, I don't need to name names, but who have become frustrated because they got used to like my ranked events where own KO was full points, and then they played in a team event or a limited or something, or someone else's event, and their opponent essentially won a match that they would have lost under the default rule set because they only got penalized 1 point for an own KO and then came back and won. So
Oh,
the question is, who do you want to feel bad? The player who made the mistake or the player who did things right? And for me, it's the player who made the mistake. If someone has to feel bad, it should be the player who did something wrong, and they should learn from that experience. It's not about being punitive, it's about learning. I don't
Right.
want to punish the players who are doing things right by giving their opponents extra chances to get good launches when they should have done it right the first time.
and
So
it's like,
That's fair.
So, coming from the same person, I have tried to introduce full punishment at locals. I was protester against that. No one would turn up, but keep in mind it makes the
Mm,
event easier to judge because
So
There's
it
that
does.
too.
then first,
As a judge and an organizer, we're all judges here, but I think
Mhm.
it's
Yep.
objectively easier because when you have to look for contact, that's an extra thing that a judge has to be aware of.
and
That
sometimes,
under full, go ahead.
and sometimes like that contact, it's not really noticeable. It might just be like a little nick, and either it might be loud as hell inside the venue or wherever you are. And if you hear that little nick, that could make or break the, let's just say, 3 points to the extreme. if that Nick was there or not to the other bay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say a couple additional things as to the locals will protest it. As an organizer, you need to be aware of what your local scene looks like, right? And that's kind of branches into 2 points, but we'll start with the most basic one first. Um, Players may say, "Oh, I'm not going to come if that's the rule set." If you're the only guy organizing in the area, the players are going to come if they want to play. They're going to learn and they're going to get over it. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth.
That's how to get better.
If you do have organizer competition in the area, then you have to decide what your goal is. Is your goal that you want your local scene to be more competitive, or is your goal that you want your local scene to be happy? And as an organizer, I tend to prefer that my local scene is happy and enjoys my events, but I haven't had any major pushback against full punishment for own KO. No one has ever come up to me and said, "I'm not coming to your next event because that's what you're doing." Um, I do think the way to do it is full punishment in ranked events, and you can do a 1 point or a yellow card, red card system in more casual events. And I think that works fine. I think that allows you to cater to two different sets of players. There are some
I
players like
agree.
or Wacko who will kind of come to every single event no matter what, you
Right.
know? But then there are definitely players who are a little more discerning. Some prefer ranked and some prefer more casual play. And really, whether it's just you as a singular organizer running different events on a week to week basis to have some variation, or whether you have several organizers in your local scene and one kind of focuses on ranked, one kind of focuses on more casual events. Um, if you want to get everybody in, you need to have different formats because everyone enjoys different things. I think that's the truth.
It's true. I know me from a competitive
Absolutely.
perspective and also a judge perspective, having those own KOs. Yeah, it sucks when it's on you. Like shit, I just self-extreme myself. That's 3 points out of the 4 or 5 or whatever it goes into, mostly 5 here. So that's more than half my points just right there. And that was all my fault. But that's also how I personally get better and try not to like overshoot it or do whatever. So I personally like the own KOs. Chad, what about
I
Chad and Martine? What about you guys? Do you guys like the own KOs?
got
I'm
it.
perfectly fine with the own KO rule. My whole thing is kind of like what our boy Danny was saying is it also kind of just depends on the scene. Like the way I'd put it is if you've got like what we have in Minnesota, it's mostly like young adults to adults showing up. It's okay to do full KO for them because like that's how they're gonna learn from their mistakes. But like if you've got like a bunch of like younger bladers who have never played like Beyblade before, then I think it's okay to do like 1 point for self KO because it's like they're the most easily to just drop Beyblade. Whereas us adults, we tend to take our hits on the chin and go, okay, I'm going to learn to do better. But with kids, it's more like well, I did bad, so this is bad. Now I hate it.
Yeah. That just goes along with almost anything though. Like you do what
I
you
feel
do
like
what
That's true.
I feel like Chad's right on that. So give me a sec because I was gathering my thoughts. Sorry. So I'm looking at the Takara Tomy rule set, right? And I always look at the Takara Tomy rule set to be like, okay, well, this is how the game is designed to be played under these rules, even though maybe we play under to 5, or the game intentionally is designed to be 4, and with own finishes, right? Um, I'm reading it right now. If it says rules will vary depending on the tournament, the information provided for that specific tournament may take precedence. So whenever you're playing in a tournament, you should know and understand the rules, whether it's a ranked event or unranked event, so that you can have the expectation that these are the rules that are going to be put onto you, right? Now, should
Yeah.
we be taking full points for it? Yes, absolutely. I feel like if the launch doesn't hit the shroud or doesn't do anything and you self-extreme yourself into the pocket, you should definitely get points for that.
I mean, listen, I have a lot of respect for you saying that, Martine, as somebody who I know did get deducted a point this past weekend for hitting the shroud twice in a row. But like you took it like a man. You know, you didn't sit there and cry or whine. You're just like, you're right, you know?
Hmm. As you should in this game, because it's
Yeah,
a lot of people take it seriously, but you don't need to take it too seriously.
this is very true. And
I think
also,
go ahead,
the
Jeff.
other thing too, the other thing too, I was going to mention, which I'm surprised no one did, but is going to make a lot of sense, is 9 times out of 10, if you are self KOing in a stadium, it is because you specifically chose to use an aggressive attack type that moves around the stadium and has the chance to self KO, which 9 times out of 10, that's how the game balances itself out between like the defense and stamina Beyblades and the attack Beyblades is when to
Oh,
get KO'd by by an attack type, but at the same time, you know, the attack types have the odds against them that they might accidentally self KO themselves. So it's like a really nice balance. So that way, not everyone's just running, you know, Wizard Rod, uh, Wolf, and like Clock Mirage or Wizard Wolf, and you know, some other stamina type Beyblade.
You can definitely self KO with Clock Mirage if you launch it wrong. I've done that plenty of times.
that's awful.
Well,
At the end of the
uh,
day, you know, as an organizer, it's important to figure out what your local scene wants and then decide if you have the wherewithal to try to push it in a direction that's a little bit different than that, or if you just want to be like, well, that's what people seem to want, so that's what we're going to do. You know,
Right.
and that's kind of a personal choice you need to make about how strongly you feel about your scene being more or less competitive, right?
Yeah.
Um,
yeah,
at the end of the day, the point of the game is to have fun. And if no one's having fun, then no one's showing up, then you're not able to run any events at all. So I feel like it's important to strike a balance between doing kind of what your community would like, but also, you know, trying to entice them or give them a friendly push sometimes into getting better, into learning new things. So, you know, it's it's really unique to everyone's individual situation is what it comes down to. You know, there's no one size fits all for for what everyone should be doing. You know, you got to make decisions based on your unique situation.
Right. Yes.
exactly.
Like Beaktron just set up in chat, I feel full punishment, or I vote full punish. It would make casual events feel more like practice, which is very true. It's
That's also a good point. Now I know Beaktron is a pretty traditional player. He likes to play, you know, full points for own KO. He definitely prefers ranked events to casual or team events. Um, you know, I can understand his viewpoint. You can make
mhm,
the argument that if limited or more fun events were if everything was full points for own KO, then when it comes time for ranked and things that people really want to take seriously, they would be better practiced. And you know, I know a little bit about Beaktron personally, and that he doesn't have like a huge group of friends who all play. So I don't know that he gets a ton of play time against other live players outside of events. So for him, it's probably valuable to be practicing the way he wants to play during ranked or the upcoming Masters format, you know?
yeah, how I view that as like we all used to play TCGs. So at least at my old
Mhm.
locals, it was all Saturday events were like $5 entry. You get it like a pack and everything, and it was still like a mini tournament, but it was nothing super competitive. So it kind of got us ready for like the competitive scene when we go to a regionals. So it kind of gives that same kind of vibe.
I think the tough part and the major difference, because TCGs do not equal Beyblade. I know there's some people in our local community who think they can run a Beyblade event like they'd run a Yu-Gi-Oh or a Pokemon or a Magic event. They are different. Um, and Cake, the big difference between playing Magic and playing, you know, or playing Yu-Gi-Oh and playing Beyblade is that when you play Yu-Gi-Oh, and I know you guys are most familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, I think all three of you have played Yu-Gi-Oh pretty extensively.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah.
when you go to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, whether you go to a tournament in Iowa or Texas or California or New York, they're all the same rules. Beyblade is
Yes.
not like that. If I go to an event in Texas, the rules are different than an event in California, than an event in New York. And even within California, different tournaments have different rules. I mean, even here in Minnesota, different tournaments have different rules. That doesn't
100%.
happen in Yu-Gi-Oh! In Yu-Gi-Oh! Mystical Space Typhoon does what it says it does every time. You have the same life total every time. You know? That's not how it is in Beyblade.
Shut up, Chad.
That actually.
We're not talking
No,
about.
no, no,
Chad,
that's not what I was going to
Chad.
say. No, no, no. Cake. That's not what I'm referring to, damn it.
I mean,
You,
MST negates
you
though.
buffoon. No. No, that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is Yu-Gi-Oh is not actually a great comparison for that because there are different rule sets depending on if you're playing modern versus Edison because of a thing called errata text, meaning older cards the text was different and so they were ruled different than their modern variations because some cards in the old text would say weird stuff like if thou were to draw a card from a deck, and people would be like, oh, so I could just draw from the extra deck, right? And they were like, oh, well, shoot, we got to fix that.
I
But
mean,
there's a lot of older Yu-Gi-Oh cards with like no,
Chad,
I get what you're saying.
I am aware that there are different formats in all these games. We all know Commander and Magic is different than 60 card standard. But generally, players pick one format that they're focused on, and that's what they play. And that is not how Beyblade is. You know?
That's not how Beyblade is. Either way.
It-
I mean,
No.
Chad gave a good example of why it's different. Also, if anything.
Yeah.
So it's really, to be honest, I don't know. There's no right or wrong answer, right? At the end of the day, Beyblade is a spinning top game for children, and we as adults have chosen to take it more
Wait,
seriously.
wait. No, it is a sport.
Okay. Well,
Beyblade X is a sport.
we as adults have chosen to
Let me
decide
know when
that
it shows up at the Olympics.
we're going to view Beyblade as a sport. Okay, well, we'll term it that way. At the end of the day, the core goal of Beyblade for me is for the community to have fun and to enjoy themselves and to feel like they're
Absolutely.
getting good value for their money. That's why I don't run single elimination, double elimination, and Swiss, even though it would be more efficient and it would crank out tournaments faster. Like I said, there's a large subset of players who the only real play time they get is when they come to an event, at least against other live people. And I
Mhm.
want them to feel like
Mhm.
they're getting 5 or 6 rounds of play in, and then obviously the free play they're able to do between their matches. That to me is a decent value for $7 to $10, even if they don't wind up winning a prize. But that is why I do door prizing, where some other organizers choose only to do prizing for top 3 or top 4. I'd rather tone that pricing down a little bit just because a lot of times we all know the same people are kind of topping. It's pretty consistent, you know? Um, I'd rather see more people walk away with something so they feel like they had a good value from the event, you know? Because at the
Fair.
end of the day,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how much I love organizing or how much I like one format over another. If I ignore the well-being of my local community, eventually I'm going to have no players showing up to my events. That's the truth.
Yeah,
Mhm.
kind of putting yourself first over the actual players, which is true.
The community has to come first. Players can play Beyblades literally anywhere, anytime. They can whip out a stadium on a train. They can whip it out on a transit bus. They can whip it out in a library. They can whip it out in their front lawn. And they can play Beyblade by themselves. They can play with a friend. They can post on Facebook or Discord and get 10 people to come to a meetup. They can play on their own. I cannot host a 50
Yes.
person tournament without 50 players who want to come play in my tournament. That's just
That
how
is
it
very
works.
fair.
Yeah.
Actually, the whole card game comparison actually does remind me. I brought this up to us, someone that I'm a good friend with on Discord who does play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the whole self-own KO ruling of you full points for self-KOing, they have something like that in games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, and it's called a misplay. If you do something incorrectly, that's on you. That's not anyone else's fault if you make a mistake on your gameplay.
Yeah, but
And that's like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense for the Beyblade stuff. Like, if you miss launch, like if you put too
Yeah.
much power behind your attack type that's known for self KOing and it self KOs, that is kind of on you, uh,
It
whether you
is,
want
and
to like it or not.
it is, Chad. And I do think, like I said earlier, that only giving 1 point or giving a yellow card and a red card or things like that, I do think that winds up. No matter who, no matter what happens, someone is getting punished. Either the player who made the mistake is getting
Yeah,
punished, or their opponent is getting punished by having to put down another good launch to try to win that match. And I think the right
yeah,
call is to if you have to punish somebody. I would love if we didn't have to punish anyone. If everyone just never owned KO'd and everyone had good launches, but that's not the world we live in. I would,
no.
as much as I don't want to punish anybody, I would rather be punitive towards people who actually made the mistake versus people who didn't.
Very
Some
exactly.
sometimes you just have a blunder, bro. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like
so Lost
I mean,
asks,
a great example. Oh, I was just going to end it off by saying Saturday was actually a great example of like owning up to your mistakes because during one of my rounds, I messed up bad. I did some terrible launching, but then I managed to bring it back and actually win the round, even after self KOing into the extreme pocket. I still came back and won, and it's thanks to, knowing my opponent's deck and knowing which of my bays best countered their Beyblades.
it's fair. But Lost also asks, so why would I not want to be at least practicing to the strictest standards that may be encountered?
So why would you
I
not?
get it.
Um, so this is kind of a counterpoint to like what Beaktron had said in the comments earlier, but we have to remember that not everybody takes Beyblade as seriously as some of us do. You
Hmm.
know, Chad, I think actually had a kind of, I don't want to say existential crisis, but you know,
No,
he kind
I'll
of had to
say it.
figure out. Go ahead.
I had to do some self searching because I had gotten, what was it, second place at one of the tournaments or third place, and it really inflated my ego. So I was like, oh man, let me just chase the high of winning, and then I wasn't doing as good, and I was like, oh man. Oh, now I don't feel good anymore. I don't like this anymore. What the hell's going on? I was doing
Hmm.
so good. And so I had to step back and, had to reevaluate and go, hey, listen, maybe chasing victory was not the road for me going to these Beyblade things. Maybe I need to try doing some wacky stuff, having a little bit of fun with the Beyblades, rekindle the joy for Beyblades because some people they get the victory high and they start chasing it and then they get really disappointed. I won't say their name, but we do have someone that goes to the Beyblade stuffs and I mean, they were near the top of the charts pretty recently, but now because they've had quite a few bad losses, they're like really kind of down in the dumps and kind of upset about all of their losses. And it's like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. You're going out enjoying having a fun time with your friends and playing with little metal tops that cost like $20-$30. Like
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
yeah,
That's kind of it. You have to know yourself. That's the most important thing I tell people is you have a guy like Wayward, okay, and Wayward's very competitive. Wayward loves ranked.
Oh
I
yeah.
think he loves the idea of masters. And Wayward is a guy where if he does go, 3-2 and just barely misses top cut, or he goes, 2-3 and just has a pretty bad day by his standards, he has the mental acumen and fortitude to come back from that and rather than beat himself up and rather than be down in the dumps, I don't want to play anymore, stuff like that. He comes back and is like, how can I improve? What could I have done differently to change that outcome? And then he practices it. And Wacko is another great example of someone who does it the same way. If you are not that type of person, then being in a hyper competitive mindset is probably unhealthy. You know,
Exactly.
some people thrive on competition, and when they lose, all they want to do is they want to get better and they want to improve and they want to show everyone they can climb that mountain. Some people get down in the dumps, and if you're that type of person, then you probably need to look at Beyblade as more of a fun hobby with friends rather than be super worried about where you place in each event you enter.
Right.
Right.
And
Exactly.
everything takes some amount of effort, everything takes some amount of work. So if you wanted to treat it as a hobby, you should be focusing on having fun. Like you should never go into a hobby thinking that you're gonna get rich, famous, whatever, that you're gonna make money, whatever. It's a hobby. It's not anything substantial. You should understand that first, right? And then secondly, if you're gonna take it super seriously, right, you need to know your limits. You need to know that losing is a part of the process, that you're only going to get better by losing until you start winning.
Mhm.
I
Even the
do
best
think I do
lose.
think we I do
Even
think
the
we
best
have
will
that.
lose. That's a part of the game.
Yeah.
Losing is a part of the game.
And I do think we have
Exactly.
that problem in Minnesota to some extent. We do have players who have definitely come to an event or two, they haven't done well, and then they've never come back again because
Oh, we've had a
they
few.
they don't understand that losing is part of the process, and they don't want to. Some people just want to show up and they want to be Blader X, and that's just unlikely to happen. You know, you have to, if you want to be at the top of the X like they are in the anime, you have to practice. If you watch the anime, how Robin still hasn't won a match up to the point in the English dubs that I'm at least. Um, but that guy but his finishes are closer a lot of the time now, and he practices, hundreds of rips a day sometimes.
Mhm.
You know, like because he does want to get better and he does want to improve and he gets down too. But then he either picks himself up or his friends help pick him up. That's something else. Like it's important to network in your community. Like if you have
Oh, yes.
if you're a player who doesn't have a group of personal friends that brought you into the game and that you can play with outside of events, you should really try your best to meet some people at events. Like start talking to some people, see if you vibe with them, and then suggest like, "Hey, do you want to come by my place on Wednesday and practice some Beyblades?" Or, "Hey, do you want to swing by Game Center on Friday night for a couple hours and practice?" Like get to know some people because really having friends in the game gives you another reason to be there other than just win, 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 win.
No matter
It is
what.
important.
Yeah, like I just moved to Minnesota from Michigan almost a year ago. And one way that I found some new people, just like these fellows that are in the podcast with me right now, is through this game. I've met so many great people through this game. So all you gotta do is just find events. There's so many events in every state, almost every weekend. So things are out there. And if you don't know in your state if things are going on, find like a Facebook group or something, be like, hey, who is in this state and what are meetups or this and that. There are so many things that you can do just for a meetup perspective. So you can meet new people.
Absolutely.
So you can go to a local game shop or whatever and rip it with some awesome people.
Exactly.
I don't know how the hell we got from winning a Honda Civic to like deep talk shit, but that's what happens over at the Spin Zone
On
podcast,
the
I
deep
guess.
talk, let's talk about overhyped Beyblades. Now it's time to bring down the mood even more by telling you guys what we think
All right,
are
no, okay,
the
guys, look.
dumbest Beyblades.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
but the real secret to winning, all right, is Wizard Rod, Shark Scale, and
Insert another,
anything else.
yeah, any random bay.
Insert
Which
another bay here.
could be hover, could be whale,
Could be
could
Whale, could be Pegasus Blast.
it could literally be anything. There so many,
Uh-uh.
yeah, there are so many,
So many.
but yeah, that Honda Civic Grand Prize, gonna try to lead it back to where we left off. I don't know how the hell we I know we because of Lost Up in Chat talked about enforcing rules
We're
and this and that, and
we're just answering those questions, man. Thanks for asking them questions and
yeah.
giving us something
I
to
was
talk
gonna
about.
say, what was their name? Felix Knuckles actually had a decent question for us, which can lead into the topic that we wanted to talk about today. Which their question was, "What's your favorite Beyblade combo?"
Ooh,
Oh boy.
interesting. Interest,
Oh.
interesting.
Listen, I'll start us off because I got my favorite right here. I got to start off by repping the most
Screw
beautiful Bey
Uranus.
I've got in my collection.
Oh my
Fuck
god.
off. So, ladies and gentlemen,
What
this
is
is
that?
Meteor Dragoon 560 level, color coded to perfection. This is my favorite Beyblade. Does it win?
No,
Sometimes.
No, it does
Never.
not.
Shut
no,
up.
no.
It actually does win. You guys are just mad because you haven't gone against it.
It'll penalty itself 3 times.
I've actually never
That's-
gotten a penalty with it.
Not yet. They're
That-
still.
Not yet.
No, but you did self KO a bunch in that team event that one match. That's what
Oh.
Martine's talking about.
Oh yes, you did. Against AJ's team.
Oh, that's because I was on a side of the stadium I was not practiced in.
Dude,
Oh my god. Yeah,
That
you
was
so-
that was my
Uh,
issue, not my Beyblade's issue.
Of course, it was the side of the stadium.
Yeah,
Of
did-
To be
course.
Yeah, I
to be
don't
to be
practice on
fair,
that side of the stadium.
to be fair, I have 2 responses to that. First off, Chad, you should practice more from the other side of the stadium. With that being said,
That's what I've been
and I
doing.
said this pre-show pretty clearly, I definitely struggle from one side of the stadium more than the other. No matter how much I practice there, it's definitely my
Mhm.
weaker side.
So you know what you guys do, right? So if you're okay, so what side do you guys struggle with more, the B side or the X side?
X.
The X side, right? So
X.
on the X side, you need to try to either so you need to either aim over pointing into the stadium, into the corner of the stadium that doesn't have a pocket over the X pocket, or you need to be pointing towards your opponent from the off the X rail. And then you kind of need to, if you spin your launcher last second, you can like flick it.
You know, Martine, I noticed that, like, first off, I understand exactly what you're talking about, and I have tried to do some of that, and it just doesn't work quite as well as I'd want. Maybe I just need to practice more. But a lot of players, they just hold their launcher super stagnant the whole time, and they never flick or do any movement right before launch. And that's something that I do quite a bit of. And I've noticed a lot of players just don't or won't. And I don't know if they're not practiced, they're not comfortable, they don't know that they're allowed to. I'm not really sure what the story is there, but it's an interesting topic.
I think it depends
I
on the
feel
bit
like-
though.
It does depend on the bit, and it depends on what angle you want to go for. But at the same time, like, you should be reading your opponent's launch as well. And
That's also an important skill that a lot of people aren't employing, Martine. A lot of people just are focused on their own launch, and are not at all cognizant of what their opponent might be doing.
Yeah.
because that's definitely one thing I always look at. I always look at how they're launching and where I think the trajectory of their bay is going to go, so then I can maybe try to place my bay somewhere where it won't get hit by where that's going.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very fair point. So, favorite combos. So, Chad, you shared yours. Martine, what's your favorite combo right now?
Shoot. I really love running Cobalt Dragoon on 960 Elevate.
960 elevate. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Makes sense to me.
Something about Cobalt, and like ever since I was able to use it, I was like, I really like this. Ever since I got the black coat, it's like
Cobalt's
it's
nice.
just so good. It's just
Yeah.
so good. It's consistent. It always gets me the point that I need, except when I
Mhm.
don't want it enough, you know? It's like
Yeah.
but
So-
it's consistent. Except when
Martino-
I'm hitting myself off the shroud and getting a point, but
Well,
do you
that
do?
does happen sometimes. Martine, let me ask you, because I think viewers are interested to know this. Why the 960 versus the more conventionally accepted 560? What's your thought on that?
Why wouldn't you run 960 is my concern, because what so what are you gonna run on it that
360,
is gonna make it better? 360, 560?
160.
If your deck, if arguably 960 was perceived as at one point or another at least top 2 to 3 ratchets, right? Why would you run 360 when 960 is 100% better, 100% more viable, right? Because in theory,
get
Cobalt
where he's
is an
coming from with
attack
this.
blade. In theory, 960 is an attack blade, right? And if Shark gets underneath your 960, it's not gonna pop. If Shark gets underneath your 360, it's gonna pop.
I mean, I think, Martine, I think the reason some people might not run 960 and run 560 instead is simply because they're using 960 on something else. But you seem to be of the opinion that 960 is so important on Cobalt, you want to prioritize that. Is that what you're saying?
Right. So you wouldn't run if you're putting Cobalt Dragoon in your deck, right? What do you think the other 2 bays are in your deck, guys? Wild guess.
Wizard Rod, Shark Scale, most likely.
Right. So what are you running Wizard Rod and Shark Scale on?
Wizard Rod,
160
160,
Hexa, and then
And Shark Scale could be
360
anything.
rush.
360.
if I didn't have 960 available because it was on my Cobalt, I would be on 170 on Shark.
170 on Shark. So you're already having 170, 160. If you don't have 960 is a must pick ratchet. This is what I want to add on to. If you're running a deck that doesn't have Cobalt Dragoon, you're probably running Hover Wyver 960 Rush. Unless
So
no 960 kick.
the technical thing that I wanted to 960 kick, but to answer what Danny was asking, because there is an actual science to this. The reason people were running 360 and 560 for Cobalt was for stamina purposes. It helps to even out the weight of the Beyblade and make it spin longer, which gave it better spin steal capabilities. But of course, as I have found out, and I'm sure Martine here will also agree with me on this, 960 still gets you great spin. Like you'll still get good spin steal, but you're less likely to burst like you would on a 560 or 360 ratchet. And that's the biggest difference. And that's why in this meta that is very attack focused right now, a lot of people have been switching their Cobalts from 560, 360 over to 960 because it makes the Beyblade less likely to explode, basically.
Well, and we all know Elevate's a pretty burst prone bit, so I feel like the 960 really does help with that. It's interesting because we are in a really strong attack meta right now. I think everyone kind of agrees with that. So
absolutely.
I do think you have a good point, Chad. The one thing I wanted to add, and I don't think this gets talked about really at all, maybe a couple of hyper competitive YouTube channels, but definitely not the standard YouTube channels that are like, look, I got Meteor Dragoon 3 days early. Like, let's test it out. I don't think people are talking about the fact, and to be fair, I wouldn't be talking about it either. I have to give credit where credit is due if Wacko didn't bring it up. But different people get different, like Martine's Cobalt Dragoon versus mine versus yours versus Cake's. They can balance better on different ratchets. Not every single blade, even if it's a blue Cobalt Dragoon, is made 100% the same.
Oh, 100%.
And people do not talk about that. They do not talk about...
There is weight variance. There is weight variance, yep.
People do not talk about, like, oh, my mummy balances better on 760 than on 360 or whatever. Like, that doesn't really get discussed at all, even though balance tuning is a very small percentage. Like you're going for very small gains. But if you already have perfected everything else in your game, that's the last thing that you can be doing to eke out a few more percentage points in your matchups is balance tuning. And I don't think most players even are aware it's a thing, let alone are doing it.
Yeah, that might be another episode topic for sure, because that is a big thing that you can easily do by just finger spinning your bay for a second and see what happens from there. But that could easily be another episode that we can dig more deep into.
All right, so favorite
Absolutely.
combos. Cake, me and you are left. What's your favorite?
All right, well, before
Oh
I
boy.
go off, we got some people up in chat that said theirs. We got our
Okay.
man Psycho Palm coming in with Shark Scale 960 ball. Interesting
Yeah,
on
I was about to say.
yeah, ball's interesting, but hey, I've seen it done this past weekend and it's pretty good. I
Wacko
never
loves that. Wacko loves Shark on the stamina bits.
I get
for
why. I've been saying this for the longest time now. Shark Scale is basically just an upgrade in every way of Samurai Calibur's Beyblade. Like
fair.
it's round, but it has protrusions. So it hits hard, but it's just round enough that it can conserve a lot of stamina. So you can play it as a defensive slash counterattack Beyblade. You can play it as basically a lot of people are going to run it as their upgrade from Wizard Rod, just like how uh, my upgrade to Wizard Rod has been my Samurai Caliber because it's insanely good weight.
It's
But
crazy to me, Chad, that
it's so ridiculous.
even when Shark Scale is not on a stamina bit, I'll see a Shark Scale get intertwined with like a hover wyvern. That the hover definitely has more spin when they start kind of bumping in the middle, and the Shark Scale still outlasts it even on an attack bit. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
Absolutely.
it's just the shape of
so
it.
I so yeah, I mean, I think I think the ball is a great combo, Psycho, and I hope you're able to get out again soon and employ that in some battles here because it'd be good to see you again soon.
Well, not just his Shark Scale on 960 ball, which is fine. His next one kind of got me a little head scratching, which is where'd it go?
Oh.
Someone just said Psycho just said something up in chat. Where'd it go? Damn it, where'd it go? I don't think I can. No, I can't. It was Samurai Caliber 960 wall wedge. Was that what it was?
Well, I've
Oh.
never played Samurai Caliber on Wall Wedge, but Samurai Caliber in general is one of my favorite Beyblades, and I do think it's a pretty underrated blade.
That's why I was.
Um, but you say Samurai Caliber, and I give you a thumbs up because I do think it's an underrated blade.
Yep, Samurai Caliber 960 wall wedge, which wall wedge has not been out for a, a long time, probably like a couple weeks, but not a lot of people like it so far.
No, Wall Wedge, that's the one that came on Phoenix Flare, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I have not gotten a ton of time to test it. What I can tell you is that the default Phoenix Flare build that it comes out of the box with is terrible. Every single time I have launched that thing, it has been burst.
Yeah.
Like, but that doesn't mean Wall Wedge can't be good elsewhere, and it doesn't mean that Phoenix Flare can't be good if you know make the necessary changes. In
No.
fact, Slushy played pretty well with Phoenix Flare this past weekend. He actually made top 8. Now he did lose in
Yes.
quarterfinals, but he did make top 8 with a deck of Phoenix Wing, Phoenix Flare, and Phoenix Rudder, which is pretty impressive in a 36-person ranked tournament where I'm sure there are people who didn't make top cut who are running much more, traditionally competitive decks.
Right. Lost said their favorite deck is Emperor on heavy 970 Jolt, which
Now, Emperor Lockchip Endblade.
Emperor Eclipse heavy.
Okay, so
Yep.
the Emperor Lockchip on the Soul Eclipse blade.
Yes.
Yep.
Is that what that means? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Soul Eclipse is not as bad as people say it is. CXs are inherently unbalanced. We kind of know that. But Solar Eclipse, man, I played a lot of matches against Papa D with it at the last practice. I mean, like 30 minutes straight of launching Solar Eclipse, and it performed pretty favorably against a lot of meta builds. Um, the lock chip on that one definitely helps because Solar Eclipse wants to hit hard, I feel like. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a really unique combo, and I think it's one of those combos that no, it's not Wizard Rod 160 Hexa or Shark Scale, but it's still plenty good that if you brought it to an event, you do still have a chance to top with it. And I
Yeah.
think that's where I would love to see more of the community in that spot where they're not so focused on winning. It's Hover Wyvern, Shark Scale, Wizard Rod every single time. It's like, hey, we're gonna play good, solid Beyblades, but we don't need to be like meta whores 110% of the time. You know, that would be a good spot
That's
for our
what I
community to
did
be
during
at.
the tournament. And those who saw my performance on Saturday know which Beyblade of mine performed the best, and it was the most ridiculous combo at the time.
Yeah, what was it?
And that
Impact
was
on
Impact
Jolt?
Drake on 660 Jolt.
Yeah.
This outspun two different Beyblades. I'm going to say that again for people who didn't hear that. Impact Drake outspun two different Beyblades during my tests with this. It is insane how much stamina Jolt gives this Beyblade, as well as like life after death. It is crazy how well this did.
Jolt is slept on. I've been messing with Jolt on Shark Scale and it's been doing pretty well. I think I think Jolt, I'm not saying it's Hexa, I'm not saying it's low rush, I'm not saying it's rush. I'm not trying to quite say that, but I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say I think Kick is a ton better than Jolt. I don't know if that's a true statement anymore. I think Jolt's
I
actually pretty fucking strong.
Psychopalm
I'd
thinks
say
that
Jolt
Impact.
is an improvement over it.
Ooh, Psychopalm thinks that Impact is underrated.
Impact
It
is
is. It
underrated.
is super underrated.
I would agree.
I mean,
I don't.
I
who
would
who
agree.
was
I
who
don't.
who watched my one match where I managed to like all of my wins were just Impact Drake alone?
I mean, I didn't watch a ton of matches. I was trying to distance myself this past weekend
No.
because I did have, a little bit of the sniffles. But I do know that I remember you telling me right after the event was over that you felt like Impact Drake was definitely your MVP this past weekend.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, it managed to during one of my matches, I was going against the classic Phoenix Wing 360 Rush. And not only did Impact Drake do some serious damage to that Phoenix, I forget who my opponent was, but man, your Phoenix got beat up. But the fact that it
Damn.
constantly outspun Phoenix on Rush, which is like, that was the premier stamina attack bay before Shark.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
Fair.
and I know Kate kind of had a reaction to the rest of us kind of agreeing that Impact's a little underrated. What you have to understand, Cake, and any viewers out there who may feel the same way Cake does, is no one is saying Impact Drake is as strong as Shark Scale. Okay, no one said that. However,
No.
a lot of people just say Impact Drake is straight trash, and from that perspective, yeah, it is underrated because I don't think it's straight trash. You know?
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying it's completely trash. I think it's about where it needs to be. I don't think it's underrated. I don't think it's overrated. That's just my perspective.
It's an interesting thing because I think if you're using the traditional like F to S tier type of layout, I think a lot of people put Impact Drake at a C, and really I feel like it's more like a low A in like actual practice.
I'd put it
Interesting.
A tier.
I don't
And
even
that's
remember.
just my perspective. People can kind of disagree on that, but Cake, what is your favorite bay?
Chad, actually, I kind of want you to go back and see where we put Impact on our list, if you could.
You
But
know, it is so funny you should mention that because I have that stuff saved onto my phone. That is in my favorites.
fantastic. Okay,
Because
All
I
right,
loved everyone.
well,
I
Chad's
loved how
doing that,
angry
Cake.
people got over it.
Yep. So why you go ahead and do that, Chad? My go-to bay right now, at least, it's Mummy Curse on 760 Hexa. It was probably one of my MVPs for this past weekend. It hits, and just whenever it collides with like another bay, especially on Hub on Hexa, you just hear that amazing sound of it clicking alongside of somebody else, and it's just good overall. But probably overall favorite combo, it's probably Scorpio Spear on the 360 Hexa.
That's beautiful defense.
It is. It's so good. When it works, it hits. It's so fun. I love it.
Yeah, Cake's on this kind of the same track as me. I'm generally a defense like player.
Yeah.
My favorite Beyblade in the anime is Stone Mountain. So so I'm a big defense guy, so I could very easily kind of mirror Cake and say either Scorpion or specifically Mummy Curse recently, and I have been playing a lot with those two. What I will say to be a little different and to create points of conversation is right now I'm a big fan of Samurai Caliber on either 160 or 960. It's kind of a personal preference. Under Needle. And the reason I like it is because it's so low that it bangs against Clock Mirage's ratchet, so it can spin finish Clock Mirage pretty consistently.
Interesting.
That's fair. That's very fair. I have the list pulled up, and
Go for it.
oh boy, what were we thinking?
Oh, do we have some L takes?
We should
Yeah,
revise
I had
that.
Drone Buster way over both Nightmail and
Dude,
where
Dronebuster
was
is good.
Yeah, but I must have been drunk if I let them put it above Nightmail. Like,
yeah, yeah,
So-
yeah. The Beyblades that we had ranked higher than Impact Drake include Weiss Tiger, Keel Shark,
oh boy.
Whale, which actually we'll have to go back and fix that. Whale is actually incredibly good. And also, for some reason, Samurai Saber is ranked above it, which I don't think that's correct anymore. After having gotten a chance to try Saber,
I
it's
love Saber. I
not
think it's slept
as
on.
great. That's fair. I have played it a bunch. I've tried a bunch of different builds, and I will happily use it as a pillow and continue to sleep on it.
Saber to me kind of wants to be
Took
where
me a second.
where
Got it.
that
You
no, that's
got
good,
it.
right? That's good.
That was good.
Samurai Saber to me is kind of where I wish it was where like Scorpion and Mummy Curse is, but it just quite isn't at that level, I don't think.
That's my thoughts. Is it's like you can make it good, but it requires a lot of luck to make it good. Besides just the combo, and I feel like if a Beyblade is relying that much on luck, it's not necessarily good to be running. I mean, let's be honest, Cake. We've tried to make it good, but it still hasn't ended up in our main decks.
Same thing with Glide.
Oh man, these two
Yeah.
in Glide the last
Man.
month. It's just been Glide.
Hey,
Glide.
listen. I made Glide work. All I had to do was illegally modify a Beyblade to make a Glide the next exhibit.
Yeah. So for those of you that like to mess around with Beyblades and know better than to bring, illegal stuff to a tournament, Chad has been screwing around recently, and he has put a Clock Mirage together where he has somehow forced not just a non-simple ratchet, but like he's got the standard ratchet on, but he's also managed to squeeze an assist blade on there somehow.
Okay, no. I will explain it, and since we're on video here, I can actually use video representation here. So what happened was
let's pull.
what
Hold on.
you're looking at. Yep, I'm pulling out the Beyblade. So
You should
here
always
is your
pull out.
standard Silver Wolf. Mine has a sticker on it. Yeah, like he said earlier, you just got to whip it out on the lawn sometimes,
On the lawn?
or on the local subway. Yeah, in your yard, in the subway, in the library. But so we all know this is how the bottom of Silver Wolf looks, right? And I'm going to make sure I try to get the screws as visible as possible. You can see that the way Silver Wolf is attached with the blade is it's got 3 tri-wings, right?
Yes, normally.
So The way the bottom of Clock Mirage works is it has the holes in the exact same place and also takes Tri-Wing. So when I ended up breaking my first Silver Wolf, may he rest forever in peace, what I did was I took that bottom half, unscrewed the part of my Clock Mirage that sits on the bottom here, and I screwed that section of Silver Wolf. So it's not an assist blade; it is actually the bottom half of Silver Wolf that is just screwed onto Silver Wolf or onto my Clock Mirage.
God.
And the only real modification I had to do to the Beyblade was there was like a little plastic tab that I just had to just snap off, and that allowed me to screw this in. It is perfectly flush, and now that allows me to run my build for it, which I absolutely love, which is my 970 glide build, which it's not going to it's not meta breaking. It's not like the most broken Beyblade ever, but ask anyone here who's gone against it. It does good. It makes glide work, which is hilarious that you have to make glide into a good bit, you have to fuse two of the best stamina / defense Beyblades in the game, and then throw on a 9 and then make it just tall, and then glide suddenly works.
So you just got a fusion ha like they do in Dragon Ball Z. Clock Mirage and Silver Wolf fusion ha
It's
into
like
your
Gogeta, except it doesn't go on for 10 episodes longer than it should.
Fair enough. Oh,
But yeah.
and all right. So, kind of going back to the whole Michigan tournament, I was actually messaging one of the people. I think he's kind of in charge of it, or he's just spreading the love about it. He kind of wanted us to give our reactions, and also the viewers can also interact with these builds as well, of what we think about his deck for. I think it's going to be for that tournament or his deck right now.
Oh boy, he's not going to wait for
Oh,
the
let's
March releases to see how those do, huh?
Yeah. So the first bay is Hover Wyvern on 960 Jolt.
Well,
Yep.
I like Hover Wyvern. I like
Yep.
960, and I think Jolt self KO is less than Kick, so I'm good with it.
Oh, absolutely. One
Martine's
thing
like,
that
nah.
I've
Martine's like, nah, get out of
Not
here.
fam. Not fam.
I think he needs to go back to driving again because he's clearly driving us insane right now because Jolt on Hover Wyvern has been proven time and time again by those who have been using it. It's insanely good on Hover Wyvern because Jolt, I forget, I think it was MBBC himself on one of his videos that mentioned that Jolt is less of an attack bit and more like an aggressive stamina bit, or aggressive defense bit. Sorry, like it has defensive capabilities in the arena, but it still moves around with aggressive patterns. It is ridiculously good. And Hover Wyvern is an aggressive Beyblade with defensive capabilities. So, of course, you mash those two together, and suddenly you have a Beyblade that would make even Godzilla wish he didn't wake back up.
Oh boy,
Damn.
that's brutal.
I feel like
All right, Kick, what
Hover
else we got?
Hover
Oh, wait,
Wyvern,
Martine.
just use 360 low orb.
So use meta.
Yeah,
Use 360
sounds-
low orb.
it sounds like we got Wacko Jr. over here.
Oh my
Why
god.
do you want to use Jolt when you can just put it on low orb?
You know what? I have a prop for this. Hold on. Here's what I think about that combo. Let me just grab my pillow and just... I'm asleep on that real quick.
Jesus Christ.
Good night, Chad. All right, what's the second bank?
So second bay is Shark Scale. 170
Of course.
rush.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the new classic.
I sort of like that. I will say if Shark is on 170, I prefer low rush, but that's just me.
Yeah, either
I think 170 rush is fine.
Either 160 rush or 170 low rush, but
That's my thought on it too.
Mhm.
But obviously, I don't think it's bad. It's not bad, right? Like it's that's just my personal preference.
I think 160
Shark
does.
balance Shark balance is a lot better on low rush too.
It can.
I just love Shark on Rush though, because even though it was not good to me at all this weekend, it just rode the rail way too much, back and forth. Like it rode the rail like 4 different times without like finishing up the rail and going for the hit. So
Yeah, I
So
like running at least one kind of off meta bay in my deck, and usually that's like Tyranno Beat or Nightmail, and Rush is reserved for those for me.
yeah,
So it'd have to
fair.
be low Rush.
how dare you say your night mail is not considered meta? The way you rip that thing, you might as well call that thing Mjolnir because it's out here breaking bits on the regular.
Listen,
Yeah, I mean,
go
what do you
Martin.
do? Why not? And then that makes me think too, like, why not just put Hover Wyvern on Rush and Shark on Jolt?
Ooh,
I like Shark on Jolt.
I mean,
I
you
said
could
that
do that
earlier.
too.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
there's
Again,
Hmm.
Chad, the one thing people got to remember, and I try to remind people of this, is that we can't say Nightmail is a great Beyblade just because I rip like I'm some kind of demon or something. Okay, like not everyone rips that hard. I get it. Um, and in fact, there are times that how hard I rip is disadvantageous to me. And I'm very well aware of
that is
that. Just
fair.
in general, I think it does me better than it does me bad, so I keep doing it. But there definitely are times where I should take a little bit off, especially when I'm launching like
Yeah.
Clock Mirage. Is probably a great example.
fair.
So I do actually know of someone who does on TikTok who loves running Shark Scale on 170 Rush, and I did have to ask them because I was curious myself. I was like, isn't 60 supposed to be like the meta height if you don't have a 50? From their testing at least, and they've tested at locals, they've tested against themselves, they've gone to like rank stuff. It's Shark Scale on 170 Rush not only still hits as hard as regular Shark Scale, but apparently it is less likely to self pocket. As in, like it has a better chance of hopping out of the pocket because it has just that little
Oh,
bit of extra height to make it go into the pocket and then like self launch out of the pocket, which that sounds like because if your Beyblade's too small and it goes into the pocket, it's not going to come back out. I'm sorry. Those pockets are deep enough that if you've got like Shark Scale on like 450 and a like under flat, for example, that Beyblade's staying in the pocket the second it hits.
no, that's fair. Cake, what's the last bay? Let's hear about the last bay.
Well, before I get to the
Yes.
last one, our main man Wayward actually suggested Shark Scale on 450 low rush.
Eh,
Yeah, I mean you can do that.
standard.
That's
On
really low.
450, I like level, but if you're trying to get it as low as possible, low rush is definitely the play for that.
Well, we can't do level.
Honestly, the
Why not?
Beyblade I think would work fantastic on 450 low rush would actually just be impact because then you're guaranteeing ratchet snipes
Mm.
every single time.
So, Zach also said Shark on level, but unfortunately, we cannot use level because the third bay is Meteor on 770 level.
That's what I run it on.
Holy smokes.
Meta.
All right.
770?
I'm going to say it. I'm going to
He's
say
a
it because not a lot of people are
770er?
saying it.
770
Yeah.
level.
I don't like 7 ratchets on Meteor. I will come out and say that right now. I've tried it before. It sucks. I don't get how people are making it work.
So,
Because 770, Chad, is a better ratchet than 760.
I'm using 560. I've tried both heights for for my 7-sided ratchet. I've tried 760 and I've tried 770. It might be my rubber on my Meteor is just not that great, but I prefer it hitting with the metal. It does way better and it spins longer. The rubber just doesn't do shit for me at least. On my copy, it just does better on I mean, anyone who's seen my Meteor in person, or if you've seen my TikTok video where I just flat launched it and just demonstrated how long it can spin against like a lot of like the more prominent like stamina defense combos. It just lasts so long spinning when it's on the 560 ratchet.
That's really pretty
So
vile.
Chad, one thing about Meteor, guys, and Wacko's done a lot of testing with this, and he was probably the first person in the US to have a Meteor because he was literally in Japan when it launched. Um, a couple of things. First off, Meteors are balanced differently. There's two different models. I believe one comes out of Japan,
Yeah.
one comes out of Asia. They do balance differently, and that's kind of like a proven thing at this point. So it is going to depend where you got your Meteor from as to how you optimally want to run it. The other thing about Meteor that a lot of people don't know, I had to explain it to King this past weekend actually, is that Meteor spin steals better the more worn the sides get. So,
Which that makes sense.
Just like impact.
So yeah, so how you're well, it's actually not just about the rubber, it's also about wearing the paint off of the side. So anyways, how you want to run your Meteor is going to depend on two things essentially: how it balances based on where it came from, and then number two, how worn is it. Those two things do
Yeah,
impact how
mine
you
is
should be
a
running your Meteor.
Japanese model, so that could be why.
So I love it on 770 level like this. I just pulled out my box to show like this is how I have it sitting in my box right now. So yeah, I love it this way, but like I don't hate on people who like it other ways, right? Like this is still a very new Bay in the grand scheme of Beyblade X. So I still think we're kind of testing and figuring out what makes the most sense. You know? I don't think anything is set in stone quite yet.
Wait until we find out that Meteor is good on that new Ragnarok bit, that the bit that's like the size of a miniature Beyblade.
I will never ever. The first time I saw that, the only thing that was going through my head, because I didn't know if it was official or not, I just saw it in some random Beyblade Facebook group, and sometimes they post fake shit on there, like, you know, US is releasing Aero Pegasus. Like, no, it's not. Shut up. You know, I looked at that and I'm like, what in the top Gyro X am I seeing right now? That was my first thought about that, about Ragnarok.
We joke in before we find out it has the same gimmick that one of the burst Beyblades had, where like if you hit the burst Beyblade, the bottom part would pop off and become a second Beyblade that would actually help your first main Beyblade in the battle.
To be fair, I'm pretty
That
sure
is a
I've burst.
legitimate thing.
I'm pretty sure I've burst before, and my middle and my ratchet and bit have probably kept spinning longer than the other person's Beyblade. Like that's the thing. It's really funny.
That's not what I mean at all. There is a Beyblade in Burst that has a part that is meant to come off, and it's a miniature Beyblade. Like, it's a tiny metal disc with its own tiny little plastic bit attached to it, and it's meant to pop off the main Beyblade and attack your opponent's Beyblade at the same time as yours. It is
right
so
here.
stupid, and I love it.
450 level. Because I have two Sharks set up.
Love
Shark
that.
is so good that I keep two set up, and I've got it on 160 Jolt. So that's what I'm doing with Shark right now.
Oh god, that 160 Jolt probably hits
It does.
hard.
It does. Papa liked it, and by liked it I mean I think he wanted to try it after I beat him up a little bit with it.
That's fair.
Honestly,
But yeah, no,
Papa
I'm not
for
hitting on anyone for the 7 ratchets. It's just me personally. I've tried it. I hate how it runs. Why my 7 ratchet will forever be my Silver Wolf, because this thing just tanks.
You're a tank, Chad. I do want to shout out Papa. He's actually pretty new to our local scene, but he definitely will come to practice, and he's just like Wacko. He will just rip. Like there's not a ton of pausing, there's not a lot of talking or bullshitting, and I love that. I love that style of practice. You just keep going and going and going.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely gonna
Bro
be
is an absolute menace, and we love it.
So before we kind of go off, finalize everything, Lost said Shark Scale 170 low orb. And then Beaktron said on Meteor 770 or 760 are good options as well.
That's fair. I also realized we never got to talk about what we wanted to talk about today, which was overhyped Beyblades because we got too busy talking about that beautiful Michigan outing.
Well,
I mean,
to be fair, I think that's okay sometimes. Like, not every, sometimes we do have stuff we want to cover and we do want to get to it, but sometimes it's just okay to talk about what's hot right now and then chat with the viewers. I think that's important. Interaction on a live
Oh
show
no,
is one of the most important things.
yeah, like we're
that's why I
almost
was gonna say, do we want to save that for next episode then?
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
because
we probably do at this point.
yeah, because we're almost 2 hours in. Plus, we got to talk about the giveaway that we're going to be having. Plus, we got to talk about tournaments and shit. So,
We got a giveaway, sir. You got to tell us about that awesome giveaway that the Spin Zone podcast is doing.
first off,
Yeah, Cake, let's hear it.
all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our 100 follower mark on Spotify. So we do love and appreciate all you guys for showing all the love and the support that you guys have been doing since episode 1 over on Spotify. And one way that we are giving back to you guys that are unfortunately listening to Spotify and not the others video sources, we are doing a giveaway for a free stadium stand. So let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Then I can show you guys exactly what you guys are going to be playing for. So this is it right here. If you guys would like to look on the screen anywhere that you guys are watching the video, you should see it right there. It is beautiful.
Woohoo!
So free for anyone within the US or a US territory. So unfortunately, no international shipping, not as of yet. Maybe later on, eventually in the future for a future giveaway. But as of right now, this will be a US only giveaway. And it is free for anybody. So the way to enter is you just got to leave a comment posting actually your favorite Beyblade combo right now down in the comments. That's all you got to do. Just comment your favorite Beyblade combination. It could be like your favorite combo of all time. It could be like favorite gen of all time. Just as long as it's a
And
combination.
let me tell you guys, it's a very important, Cake. If you guys comment and your favorite combo involves Screw Uranus, you get 2 entries instead of 1, okay?
Oh my god. Not
You don't
true.
actually, I'm
My
just messing
God.
around, but anyways, continue.
Yeah, not true at all. So go ahead, leave your comments down on Spotify. And sorry for those who do not have Spotify. Maybe eventually we will do a YouTube giveaway as well. But as of right now, this is only a Spotify giveaway since we just wanted to get the numbers up on Spotify. And you guys have been killing it. So one way that we want to give back is to give away these really nice stands brought to you by our previous guest on our last episode, Wayward, and they are amazingly done. I have one of my very own. Um, I love it. Absolute, very lightweight, all foldable. Absolutely amazing. You definitely don't want to miss out on this giveaway. Um, so
And guys,
definitely,
real quick, this is important, Cake. If you guys do see the spin stand or you have seen them before and you do want one, but you for some reason can't enter the giveaway or you enter and you don't win, you can reach out to Wayward directly to order one. I believe they're generally $60. Is that correct, Cake?
yes, sir.
And he can either put some default artwork on there for you, or he can kind of work with you to put some custom artwork on there. And how you get a hold of Wayward, guys, is you go on Discord and you add him as a friend. Wayward, Wayward 1453. So Wayward 1453, guys. And you can get a hold of him to have him, make you your own custom spin stand.
Yep. Or just another way is go into the description of the previous video talking about um, releases with Wayward. I believe that's what the title of the last episode was. So episode 22? Yeah, episode 22. Definitely go
Episode
watch.
22.
Yep. Go watch that. Go listen to it. It's actually a really good episode. So uh, yeah, so um, go ahead, enter, share this with anybody, more the merrier. And who knows, maybe there will be more additional giveaways on top of the spin stand giveaway. So
Ooh.
again, we love and appreciate all you guys for everything that you guys have been doing, been liking, commenting, everything else over on Spotify. You guys have been killing it these last like several months. So we do appreciate all you guys for doing all of that. So
And
yeah,
also, if you're in Minnesota, I have a ranked event the 21st at Kraken Hits, 4 p.m. doors, 5
Ooh.
p.m. start time. Want to see everyone there. Want to get big numbers. So let's go ahead and do that. Should be up on WBO hopefully within 24 hours. I'm still in the review process right now. So
yeah, if it's
let's get it done.
if it's anything like your last event, which we had 36 people at,
Yeah, 36 on like 6 days notice, which I thought was okay.
which is
So
really good, and the prizing were phenomenal. So
oh,
definitely,
I mean, Wacko loved the prizing. I mean, he won solely because he wanted that hover wyvern.
fair enough. So we also have one event coming this weekend. It is a duo event. Let me get more into that. $15. It is per team. Come with somebody. Don't come with somebody. You're gonna get a teammate. Doors open at 4 p.m. Event starts at 5 p.m. That is in Friendly, Minnesota. It should be a very interesting event. We do three team trio or teams of 3 team format, but we never do teams of 2 team format. So it's definitely going to be interesting on how that goes about. But then we got Vials, which is on the 21st. So we got great things coming. And then if you guys would like to go to that Michigan event that we spent almost all event going talking all about, that will be April 12th, I believe.
That event that we spent all event going to.
Yep.
Yep. Hey,
I like to spend all my events going to events.
me too. So if you would like to go to the event that we spent all the podcasts talking about, it will be April 12th. Doors open at 10 a.m. and the event starts at 11. Entry is $40, but we've already basically talked all about that. So if you guys want to go to Michigan, go to Ypsilanti for a full weekend, definitely go ahead and check that out as well. Other than that, guys, I think we are good. Anything else that you guys want to chat about real quick, or call it a day?
I
No,
just
I mean,
have one thing to say to the chat.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jet.
Remember, if you want to win your Nerf battles, you got to put a jolt bit in your jolt bit.
You're fired.
You're a jolt bit. Yeah, so Kate, I do want to talk about the Great Plains Regional on June 6th, but I think I want to do that next episode so we have a little bit more time to cover it more in depth. I
Yeah.
assume
We
by
have
then
time
it's
to talk about it.
yeah, we'll have more information and it probably might be up on the WBO by then. So I think we'll wait a week before we talk about that.
Yeah, so kind of a save the date. June 6th will be a all day thing. So save the date, get it off right now if you need to do whatever you need to. June 6th. You got many moons to go, but still, ass off for June 6th. You won't be disappointed from things that we've been hearing.
No, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be the best prized event that the Midwest has probably ever seen. Michigan's not part of the Midwest, so fuck you before I hear about a Honda Civic.
Bullshit, it's not.
And huh?
Bullshit, Michigan's not.
Michigan's not part of the Midwest. No. The Midwest is like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa.
Michigan's a part of the East Coast.
Yeah, they're in Eastern time zone, bro.
I don't know. I'd fight you
Yeah.
on that. But either
On
way,
tomorrow's podcast,
anyhow,
we will be showing Cake a map.
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
the
it's
map.
funny about how only the tiny little sliver that's the UP is in Central, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it. Thank you.
But no, it's gonna be a great event. The prizing's gonna be great. We have some really talented people that have kind of organized and gonna be on staff for it. So we're gonna talk about that quite a bit next week, I hope. But in the interim, guys, June 6th, plan for all day. I think we're going 11 a.m. to midnight, so it's gonna be crazy. Prizing's gonna be
It's gonna
great.
be So much fun.
It is, and Martine only has to drive 5 minutes to get there, so he loves that part.
Fantastic. All right, so
I wonder
that
who's
is
gonna
it.
drive like
10 hours for a
who's
Honda
gonna drive
Civic.
10 hours. Who's gonna drive 10 hours to lose to Wayward?
I mean, I think Wayward and I are.
Everyone will.
Yeah, I can lose to Wayward right here. I don't need to drive 10 hours to do that.
I mean, if
That's-
Wayward and I
Yeah.
and two other people end up going, and then we end up getting matched up together, that'd be just wild. Like, there's a 199 chances that we're gonna get paired up together, but those are still odds.
Hey,
Anyway.
at the very least, Cake, in the small fraction of a chance you have to beat Wayward, and you do win against him in the finals, and he tells you, "Fuck you, Cake, find your own way home." At least you'll have a Honda Civic to drive yourself home in.
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah, that's right, Wayward. Anyway, we do appreciate all you guys for checking out this episode. All the links will be down in the description, so make sure you check out the Spotify. Comment your favorite Beyblade combination. And again, it does not need to be from Beyblade X. It could be from Burst, Plastic Gen, Metal, any combination. It could be that Hello Kitty right from the box. I don't care. It is what it is. So go ahead, enter that, share that with everyone. So who knows? More prizing for you guys. But we love and appreciate all you guys for checking out this episode today. And until next time, so long, stay safe out there. Have a great and awesome rest of your day, guys.